Hey, it's Kim. Thanks for clicking on today's video where I'm going to be going over some recent acquisitions that I got for the 2025 planner season. So this one specifically is from Wonderland 222. It's a throwback from my days when I first started sharing planner videos on this channel. I think the planner I was using at that time was the B6 Wonderland 222. And I haven't used it since. So I'm really excited to get back into a Wonderland product. And I'll be using it for my business planner for the coming year. Originally, I really didn't know what I'd be using for 2025 for my business planner. And here's my business planner. I do have a video covering the setup for 2024 and how I've been using it. I didn't know what I'd be using, and that's because I found that the planner that I was using for 2024, which is the Take a Note in the A5 size, though wonderful, and I actually really do love the Take a Note, I realized that I don't need this much space. There are only a few kinds of spreads that I need, and the way the Take a Note is set up, you get, well, that's for this week. You get like the overview for the week. So this column is overview, and then you get a half sheet for each day of the week, half a page, and then you go into the next week, the overview for the week, and then a half sheet for each day. I don't need that much space. Pretty much I've narrowed it down to, I like the column that shows me what I'm doing when, or if there are some appointments, and then a spread to write down some notes of what else I'll be doing. And also I've noticed as 2024 has gone on that I'm using this section more so for YouTube kind of stuff, really. So even that tells me I don't need this much space for that purpose. So I wasn't sure what I'd be doing. I thought I would only be sticking to, and I'll open this again, I thought I'd be only sticking to a notebook. So this is like a notebook, very messy, that I use for business information, business ideas. If I'm doing any training or anything, I'll put that information here, and this notebook will carry me through as many years as it takes. This is a Stalogy, A5 Stalogy. It's the Yosaka Stationery Green one. So that's what I've been using for 2024. It's going swimmingly, and I assumed I would only just use this for 2025. I do use the monthly layouts to plan out like which videos I'm gonna have, and even that is very like minor. I don't need a full, you know, monthly layout, so I figured I would just write in a kind of dashboard into this notebook to copy that information down, and that was fine. But then I noticed on the Wonderland 222 page, the Facebook page, that they mentioned that all of the planners for 2025, it might have been all the planners or all the notebooks or one or the other, can't clearly recall, but they would be using the old Tomoe River paper. So that old stock of Tomoe River paper that we all love, that we all know and love. And I thought, okay, maybe I'm going to go back. Maybe I'm going to go back to Wonderland 222. These are my November Sterling ink stickers that don't need to be in there. Just clearly shove them in there at one time. So I said, let me check out what they have. Let me see what's going on over there. And I decided to pick up the 2025 planner. This is the A5 core. This is the A5 core, and the U relates to unstacked, meaning the weekends are not stacked. And I also did get this notebook that I clearly didn't open. So this is a 192 page notebook, also in the A5 size. Now, I bought this just because it's the old Tomoe River paper, and because I collect notebooks. That's it. So I don't even think I have a reason necessarily to use this at the moment. But I figured I'd show it because that was included in my haul. I needed to open this one though, because honestly, I ordered it September, I think like mid-September, and I didn't get it until the last week of November. So I truly forgot why I thought this was a great idea, why I thought this would work well for my business planner. So once I got it, I was like, why do I love this? And then I opened it up and I remembered why I love it. So I'm going to share that with you right now. So I picked the core planner as I explained, and I believe that means you don't have a day per page. In the one that I was using, the B6 version that I was using for 2021, there still wasn't a day per page. It was like a notebook planner combo that I was using. And I actually, to this day, still use that B6 notebook. But anyway, so when you first open it up, you have a 2-page spread on the left-hand side. It could be for the key that you might want to establish, and then on the right-hand side is an index page. I don't know if I'd use either in this business format. And then you have 2 more full-page spreads for index pages, and then you get into a 4-calendar spread. 4-year spread. So we got 2024, 25, 26, and 27. Now, the thing that I loved about this is that I feel like it's great for business planning. So this for me will be more business focused, and I'll show you which spreads. So I need to see, years coming up. Also, there is this vertical yearly calendar. I don't know what I would use this for. Like, there's nothing I really track, and there's nothing I need to see on a 2-page spread, but helpful to have here. This is where the magic happens, though. So having these quarterly spreads, and this is almost something that I kind of wished at one point the Sterling Ink planner had. However, I don't really plan goals in there. But I find that this type of spread is amazing for planning goals or for planning projects more specifically. So each 2-page spread is devoted to a quarter. So this is quarter 1. And on the left-hand side, we have a calendar for January, February, and March. On the right-hand side, we have little note sections for each of those corresponding months. So here is like an overview where you can see what's going on for the year, where you might want to plot out some projects that are going, maybe some deliverables that you have to, some deadlines that you have to meet by a certain date, and then kind of back plan to figure out how you're going to make it. That's what I love to use these types of spreads for, and that's what I like to use these types of spreads for as it relates to business. For 2024, I actually drew this out myself inside of this notebook. So clearly, this is a type of spread that I need for my business planner. So you have that 2-page spread for each of the quarters of the month, of the year, I should say. And then we get into, you get a notes page on the left-hand side, and we get into trackers. So this first tracker is for December of 2024, but then it goes into all of the trackers for the months. And this was the inspiration for which I set up my trackers in my regular daily planner, which let me show you. So since I was used to using that Wonderland 222 back in 2021, I realized how much I love having all of my trackers together in like one section of the planner. And I loved having the space for the specific items to track, but also anything else I wanted to add on the spread. That's one of the other things I fell in love with from the Wonderland 222 planners. I, however, don't think I'm gonna, well, I don't know how I use this for business. I still kind of have to brainstorm that. So I'm not sure how I'm even going to use these spreads, but I appreciate them. And that has influenced the way I use trackers in other planners. Just figured I'd point that out. That the love truly does run deep. Okay, now you get just a notes page on the left-hand side at the end of those trackers. And on the right-hand side, you do get a December overview page. Another thing I love from the Wonderland 222 system. So you get an overview page. And what I had used this for previously was to plan out my goals, my specific goals for the month. And back then I had 6 goal categories, and I devoted a section or a spot to each of those goal categories, wrote them out here. And that's how I use them. And then you get into the actual monthly spread, and then it goes right into the weeklies. Now, something I didn't even realize, which I didn't pay attention to. So this planner starts December of 2024. So you could jump right in if you're one of those kinds of people. I'm not. I like to start a planner on the 1st of January. So I will sort through. and show you. So at the end of the month, at the end of December, you get a December review spread. It looks a whole lot like that December overview spread, but here's where you can kind of track down what actually did happen throughout the month, especially if they're goal related. So on the overview spread, you might have defined some goals that you wanted for the month, and then on the review side, you'll cover or define the goals that you actually met and how you met them or anything like that. And then on the right side, it goes right back into that same system, that same layout for the next month. So for January, I will use this January overview to define goals, and I'll usually flip back to that quarterly spread where I'm plotting out some projects or things that I want to work on for, you know, the specific month, and I have some notes here. So then I go back, and once the month starts, really put down the actual goals that I want to focus on for the month, maybe some numbers and deliverables that I want to hit for the month, and an overall plan of how I'm going to do that. So I love that this is available in this planner, and I could definitely see that put to good use in a business planner. Then again, you go into the monthly spread, and like I explained in my current monthly spreads, I've only been using them for like planning out my YouTube videos, which isn't that serious. And I think I'll use this monthly for the same thing. Though I do track monthly things in my consulting business, I have another system for which I'll be tracking that. So I will likely use this for videos, just to define when I'm going to put out a video. And like I explained for my 2024 take a note, I don't need so many pages for the weekly. I pretty much just need a 2-page spread, and that's exactly how I'm going to use this. I imagine I will put any dated things up here at the top in these smaller boxes that you get up at the top, and then just use this bottom portion as notes. So similar to the way I set up that Nolte layout in my daily planner, if you have been following along, it'll be the same. So anything day specific, tasks or appointments up at the top section. This bottom section is just a free-for-all for notes that apply to this week. So that's exactly how I'm going to use the weekly pages. And if you're a person who appreciates having the monthly, then all the weeklies, and then going into the next month, that is a reason for which you might really like the Wonderland 222. I don't think I care. I don't think I care either way. Originally, like in my planning journey, which was like, what, 15, I think I would have preferred the month and then the weeks. But now, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Moving on. So at the end of those January weeklies, you do have that spread for this January review. And then on the right hand side, it goes into the February overview. So that's the setup and the layout for all of the months. And the unstacked, as I said, that this is the A5 Core unstacked. Core, I believe, refers to just like a regular planner. This is the Core planner. And then unstacked, there's a version where you get wider columns for each day, and that is because Saturday and Sunday are stacked on top of each other. So Saturday would be at the top, Sunday would be at the bottom, but that allows you to have wider columns for all of the other weeks. So if you are a person who is maybe using this for work and you just need to note like Monday through Friday things that are going on, that will be very helpful for you. Also, if you need that extra bit of writing space on the daily columns, that will be helpful for you. And even if you don't use it for a work planner, if you just in your life don't do a whole lot on the weekends and you don't need like a full timed column for Saturday and Sunday, the stacked version might be helpful for you as well. So then at the back of this one, which I also didn't remember, and I had to open it up and look through it to jog my memory. So we have the December review for 2025, and then immediately to the right, we have notes pages, and that goes from page 201 to page 288. So that's a lot of notes pages, a good amount of space that you have in this slim kind of planner. So that is definitely a bonus. And the thing that I know I will be using this for is, so when I use the weeklies in here, and I want to give you an example. As you can see, a lot of unused space. I will where are we? I will write down like video notes. So while I'm editing a video, I will write down where I might want to add those extra cards for, you know, past videos to pop up, or things that I might need to link at the bottom, or if I'm doing the timestamps for the video, I will note that. Just, you know, write it out really messy. That's exactly what I would use these notes pages for, because I don't like to keep that information in here, because this notebook carries for, you know, several years of things that I will need to reference regularly. This, I will likely toss it at the end of the year. Same with this, you know, stuff that I don't need to carry into another year, things that I don't need to archive. So that's exactly why I'll be using these, 88 notes pages in the back. So that's why I chose the Wonderland 222 to use as my business planner for 2025. And I'm still going to use the same cover. This is my Vanderspec A5 Codex in, what's the leather? TM Mocha. So it's a really, really dark color. Let me get this in. Really, really dark color, and I love it. I asked for a lot of texture on it, and it's really nice. I'm getting distracted. So this will live inside of here. There is a thing that I noticed about the Wonderland when I opened it. I find that the cover is super soft, and maybe I'm not used to that. I feel like it's even softer than like Astrology for whatever reason. If you are the type of person who likes to fold your notebooks back, like bend them all the way back, that would be a benefit for you. At first, I found it a bit off-putting, especially if I were the type of person who would use a planner or a book without a cover. I'm not that type of person, but if I was that type of person, I might find it too thin or too flexible or something. But that aside, that does not apply to me. Do keep it in mind if that is something that's important to you. But I did really love all of the colors that they had available for the 2025 year in both the planners and the notebooks. So I did choose that brown color. It might be like Seattle Roast or something. I'm thinking coffee related. That's the color here. And I'm not sure the name of this color. I'll try to put that on the screen if I remember, or link it down below for you. So that's the color of the planner that I got. And like I said, this will be the system. This will be how it fits and how it works for 2025. It's no different than the way I was using it in 2024. There will be no added deco. I don't do all of that. It's just pretty much some sticky notes, some ink, and some marker. And that's how we use it. That's all we do. So that's how I'm going to be using it. And then, like I said, it is used in conjunction with this notebook that gets a whole lot more love than the actual planner necessarily. And this is all information that I will need to reference in years to come. Something else that I got that will be a part of my planner system, or my business planner in this business kind of capacity, is this A5 monthly booklet from Sterling Ink. I did mention it in my Sterling Ink haul video, so you can check that out. But it's really just a thin A5 booklet, and it only has monthly layouts for 2025 and a handful of notes pages. How many? 17 notes pages, so not even a lot. This I'm going to use for my consulting business. So I only need to track things. How do I even explain it? I only need to track numbers on a daily basis. So that's what this monthly overview will be great for me. This booklet does have like quarterly overviews, and you do get like a box for the whole quarter and then a box for each month of the quarter, and on the right hand side you get that vertical calendar. I don't know that I have a use for this for my consulting business. I could maybe track invoicing information, but honestly I do that on a one-page spread. So I do have to kind of figure that out. Like, I like to see everything for the whole year on one spread. So I wouldn't do it on a quarterly base layout. But anyway, what I do anticipate using the monthly for is to note down those daily numbers, those daily things, to note down when the companies that I consult for are closed, to note down when I'm taking vacation from, you know, that portion of my business. So I will need only monthlies, more or less. And so I decided to get a thinner little booklet that I could also fit into this cover. You may notice there aren't strings in here. So how am I gonna put this in? I may just do this. Honestly, just that. I like to have this separate from everything else because I feel like it's a completely different universe. It's an entirely separate entity. Like, I don't want to combine this business stuff with this business stuff or this business stuff. So that's why I wanted a separate notebook. I'm okay with it just being a thin little booklet. When I go out, like let's say I wanted to work at a coffee shop or maybe at the library and I'm only doing this consulting kind of work, I just bring this. So I don't feel like I need to bring this whole system in order to work remotely. So these are the 3 components for my business planner for 2025. And I guess to give a little bit more information about my businesses. So I have the consulting business, which is like B2B, so business to business. My business helping out other businesses. So that's what this is. And then I do have other businesses that are more like business to consumer. So a consumer-based business, that's what I might put in here, but I don't really need to track things for that. That's why I found that the monthlies that I was using before, pretty much, I was just using it for noting down YouTube videos. I don't necessarily consider YouTube a business because I feel like as soon as I do, I'm going to hate it. But I don't consider YouTube a business, but I do need some kind of organization to know when I'm posting what. So that's why I'll be using the monthlies here. And then I would put some deliverables or meetings or other bits of information on the weeklies that apply to that like business to consumer side of my business. And then, like I said, the notes pages in the back will be used for video notes while I'm editing, maybe video ideas. I kind of keep those like digitally, but who knows? Just kind of like scratch paper as it relates to the things going on in here. And then this notebook that I don't really show the insides of because it does have some personally identifying information, but here's where I do plan out projects, business related projects. I do take notes on like courses that I'm taking related to business, project planning, like I said, any project sprints. So all of that is in here, and that is all information that I will need to reference down the line, not just year specific kinds of information. So that's all that goes in here. So those are the 3 components that comprise my business planner for 2025. I recognize that might be confusing. So of course, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to ask down below in the comments. Also, you could reference that video that I have from 2024 showing more of the setup and the components and parts, but I think I pretty much said the same thing, but you can check that video out if you'd like to as well. Thank you so much for following along on today's video, and if you liked it, I greatly appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.